Welcome back. I'm still here at the Lloydminster Public Library enjoying the story of Just a Bear. It was written by local author Ann Campbell, who told me that when she saw the book and held it in her hands for the very first time, it was an absolute dream come true.
It was a really neat feeling. My husband and I went to Saskatoon to pick the books up. They had been brought by truck to Saskatoon. And I'll never forget when we opened the first box and took out 2 books and started looking through it, and realized that it was really a reality.
And how were things like for you the first year after it had been published and you had the books? What was that like for you?
Well, it was really exciting. For one thing, I have never sold anything in my life. I had always taught, so marketing anything was totally new to me. And it was really exciting to go to like Christmas craft fairs, and I love meeting people, and I met lots of people at those events. I also went to schools quite a bit to read the story, and I would do a little bit of a mini writing lesson with it because I had been a teacher before, which seemed to go over well. And it was fun. It's fun to read the books to kids because that's who it's meant for.
So when you're in the schools and you're talking to kids and you're reading with them, what are some of the feedback that you get from the students?
They really liked it. They really liked the story, and I sell it with or without this little bear that has Just a Bear on his paw. He's as close a replica of the real bear as I could find, and so then I decided to have his name put on it, and actually he goes over really big with the kids too. I've put them in all of the schools and in Lloydminster, and the kids really like the Just a Bear.
And so what would you hope that readers take away from your stories, especially the children that you read and talk to?
I think the underlying message in it is that each child is special, and in it, Just a Bear is treasured by Jack. And even though in the story, when Jack gets older, the bear is put on a shelf and books pile up in front of him, and he feels like he's been forgotten. And he has been forgotten to a point until Jack is asked to find some of his special treasures to put in the school. And that's when he finds Just a Bear. And so I think there's an underlying meaning that each child is special and a treasure. And when I'm reading it to small children, I sometimes talk about treasures in our life and how you can't put a monetary value on them.
So you just published your second book. It came out in August. Tell me all about that one.
The second one is called Just a Party, and it's the story of a grandfather that lives up in the forest, and he has nobody living around him, but he invites his grandson to come up and have a party. And the little boy can't figure out who's going to come to the party because nobody lives there. And of course, the animals in the forest come. And animals that normally wouldn't get along come. The rabbits are there, and then the wolves come, and the rabbits are afraid they'll be eaten by the wolves. But everybody gets along and has a party. And it's not to celebrate anything special, it's just for Grandpa and the grandson and the animals to have a party for fun. So that's why it's called Just a Party. And I'm sort of trying to stick with the Just a theme for my books.
And what was the publishing experience like for you the second time around?
Well, it was different. I used a different illustrator. The illustrator for the second book is Robin Waters, and she lives in Oregon. So it was a little different experience, but there were some things that were the same and helped that I had published one before. It still took quite a long time, but it was well worth waiting for.
I love the Gista theme that Ann has going on with her books. And when ATR returns after this break, Ann shares with us what books she loved when she was a little girl.